Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. This morning's been a little bit of an adventure. We've been having a bit of technical difficulty. This is the normal thing with streaming from another country is sometimes we have no electricity and sometimes iffy Wi-Fi. So we are waiting for Angelika to come on. She is having issues with her phone, but today we have Germaine and we have Priscille. Priscille will be helping us with some translation. And Priscille, can you hear me? Priscille, can you hear me?
Elles sont en train de faire leur interview là. Mais apparemment, c'est coupé.
Priscille, can you hear me?
D'accord. D'accord. Oui, mais même elle-même, ça passe pas. Hein. Ça passe même pas. Même ici aussi, ça passe pas.
Priscille, can you hear me? So if we have continued issues, everyone, we will reschedule this broadcast. I'm very sorry. Give us a few minutes to see if we can't get people on. We've got Angelika.
Oui, I'm here. It works.
All right, we got everyone except Priscille, but Priscille's been having issues too. If Germaine, I know that they're talking, so we need to make sure that we don't have, we need to be able to hear Germaine well, so background noise would be good to have.
D'accord, Germaine, maintenant on est là. C'est toi seulement, sans parler avec quelqu'un d'autre. C'est bon, tu m'entends, Germaine? Germaine, on te voit. Bonsoir.
Can Germaine hear us?
Germaine, tu nous entends? Can you call Ludovic back? Germaine, tu nous entends?
So everyone, we are having some issues with sound. I do apologize. Welcome, Gary and Helen Tarver. Glad you could hear us. Welcome, Team Maxi. Good to see you. We are still having issues. So if we need to, we will reschedule our broadcast for another day. But
d'accord. On va essayer, on va se reconnecter.
I'm going to. Okay, there we go. All right.
Okay.
So since we have you, Angelika, we'll go ahead with that. Sorry, everybody. We hoped we got Germaine in, but I don't know if we will. She may pop in and out, as is Priscille. But we still have Angelika here. She's our global worker who works on many different things. And today's topic on one of her many ministries that she does with Rod will be Dignity for West African Girls. So, Angelika, tell me a bit about who you are and what you do with WorldVenture.
Yeah. First of all, hello, Nikki. Hello, everybody who's connected. I don't know who's there. Greetings, warm greetings. It's dry and dusty in Cote. I don't know if you've got snow. Anyway, just for those who don't know me, I was actually born in Germany, a small town called Gütersloh, grew up there, and then got to know the Lord when I was 14 through a mutual friend. And she told me about her personal relationship with Christ. And when I started reading the Word of God, I wanted to share it. I didn't know about mission. I just wanted to share the truth of what I understood. We need this personal relationship to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Long story short, I went to Burkina Faso, transferred to go as a pediatric nurse, was working in community health work, with whom I studied French. In France, connected me with their colleague Rod. And so I got to know Rod, and it didn't take long. We had the same vision, reaching the unreached. Muslim people in West Africa. And so we got married. That was everything we had in common. Everything else we needed to learn from each other. But it worked until now. It has been 27 years. We are now training leaders because we had a civil war in 2002, it was, I think. We had a civil war. Most of our team left. And so here we were, all the churches, the pastors were here. They need to work reaching out the unread and so on. So here we are at the Bible school called Institut Biblique, Bethel, Congo, and training leaders. They are mostly from the Ivory Coast, but we have some from Mali. Yeah, so that's a little
Perfect.
bit okay.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so Angelika, today we're as we launch into talking about Dignity Project, which you've been posting all over your social media about, some great stuff on there. So if anyone out there wants to follow her on social media, we'll put those links on the blog later today. But what is the need for support for Dignity Project?
I mean, the Dignity Project, first of all, is helping women and girls to understand their value. It's kind of a prevention for abuse and human trafficking. And so the need is to do formations for women so that they can teach girls. And that's what we are doing. We work with and partner with the local church, but a formation needs more support than the church can offer. We want the church to partner with us, but we need the support for formations and getting girls together. We have materials to share with them to do a creative kind of a training for them.
Awesome. Thank you. I would like you to introduce our two guests here, and thankfully their internet has stabilized. So tell me introduce Jermaine and Priscilla to our audience. How did you come to know Jermaine?
Yeah, it's such a privilege to have two of our facilitators. Priscilla was just trained last year, and Germaine as well. And we got to know each other, let me think. A long time ago, even before I got married, Germaine's husband was friends with Rod, and they were working in the youth group in YK. And Germaine was there. I think they got to know each other. They got married, and so it was through Rod that I heard about Germaine. Germaine is professor at the university. She's got 3 girls and 3 boys. Priscilla is a newlywed. Hello, Priscilla. Thank you for joining. And English teacher. So I heard her to translate German. And so what we are saying, I hope Germaine is understanding. Tu nous comprends, Germaine, un petit peu?
Oui.
And so Priscilla got to know her as a young student in high school, I think. She came when we were in YK during the Civil War. We were living on a campus with French military. Anyway, she came to visit one of her teachers, and now she's already, a teacher herself. Yeah, and so that's how I got to know Priscilla.
Awesome. Thank you, Angelika. Now, I'd like to know from Jermaine and Priscilla, this is where you come in and help us interpret. Jermaine, tell us a bit about your background.
D'accord. Donc, maman, elle demande de parler un peu de ton expérience.
De ton parcours, je crois.
Oui, mon parcours. Donc, je suis Zouzou Sorombo Germaine, épouse Ofiedo.
Okay.
Je suis enseignante à l'université Alassane Ouattara. Tu traduis en même temps?
Je vais traduire par exemple. So she said her name is Zouzou Sorombo Spousfie, and she is a teacher at University of Waki.
Par ailleurs, j'ai une formation d'assistant social. Priscille, j'ai une formation d'assistante
She said
sociale.
she also had social assistance kind of a formation.
Perfect. Thank you. So, Jermaine, tell me how you came to know Angelika and how did you learn about dignity?
Ok, dis-moi comment tu as connu Angelika et comment tu as connu ADG, Dignity Campaign.
D'accord. J'ai connu Angelika par l'intermédiaire de, nous on l'appelle affectueusement Basouleman. Il était missionnaire, voilà. Missionnaire à Boaké et il s'intéressait beaucoup à la jeunesse. Et à toutes nos sorties de jeunesse, il était là. Et c'est par l'intermédiaire de son époux, Basouleman, que j'ai connu Angelika. Et jusque-là, nous avons entretenu de bonnes relations.
Okay. So
Et
I knew her for her husband. We used to call her husband here Basuleman. He's a missionary in Boaké and he's really interested by young girls at church. So I knew her for her husband. I hope my English is good, not too bad. Okay.
You're doing good. Keep on going. Was there anything else that she said?
No.
Okay. How did she come to learn about dignity?
Okay. Comment est-ce que tu as connu Dignity?
oui, ma rencontre avec ADJ, il faut dire que l'Église avait lancé une séance d'évangélisation au centre civique à Belleville avec les jeunes filles. C'était en 2024. Et ils ont proposé comme ça à l'Église qu'ils voulaient des volontaires pour aller encadrer ces filles-là. Et je me suis portée volontaire et il s'est avéré que les facilitatrices intervenaient là-bas aussi. Et les facilitatrices qui sont à Djamourou, il y avait Mars, il y avait Maman Traoré. Donc, c'est comme ça que je me joignais à elles chaque matin. Et c'était les samedis matins qu'on allait dans le centre. Et j'ai pris contact avec elles. Et pendant qu'elles entretenaient les filles, j'étais là aussi. Et à des moments, elles ont voulu que je fasse des communications aussi avec les filles. C'est comme ça que j'ai connu ADJ.
D'accord. So she said that she discovered ADG in 2024. At that period at church, we had some evangelization, and they should go to what we call here a civic center. So it's a center in which you can find many young girls or young boys uh, who are not too skilled in the society. Then they are in this center in order to maybe to have knowledge and teaching. So at that period, uh, some of our sisters at church should go to this center to give the word to these young ladies. And she decided to be a volunteer. Then when she arrived there, uh, the different sisters, like I'm going to call them facilitators because they are also members of Dignity. So there these facilitator asked also to help them with young ladies. So through this way, she discovered Dignity. It was here in Boaké.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
This question, we'll start with Angelika, but Jermaine can answer as well. But let's start with Angelika. Why is the Dignity Project important to you and West Africa? Angelika first,
Yeah.
and then Jermaine.
D'accord, je vais passer.
You know, we just
Sorry. Donc, elle demande pourquoi est-ce que le projet d'unité est important pour vous en Afrique. Donc, Maman Angélica va répondre d'abord et ensuite Maman Germaine.
Okay.
Just this week, we had about 60 pastors' wives come and join for a retreat. And we did a little photo collage to just get away the shyness. And we wanted the women to just pick a picture and represent how they feel about themselves. A lot of women took a flower and whatnot, but there was one lady, she took a bicycle. I took a photo of this. I wish I could show you. I mean, she was kind of joking, but she said, I'm a bicycle. I'm nothing. I'm not worth anything. You don't consider me. And this is just kind of, in short, an illustration. Women are not, they are valued, but then they feel themselves, I'm not important. Most of our women here in the Bible school haven't been to school. And here we are training pastors and church leaders, but the women don't know how to read and write. So that's what we are doing. And you see a little bit, there is and just why is dignity so important? God has created us in his image, men and women, to complement each other. And not, so that's what when I understood the way the dignity campaign is teaching about the heart of God for women and men now as well, it just kind of gave me an avenue to help the women understand about their value. That's important, and yeah.
Awesome. And Jermaine, your answer?
Oui, oui, à la suite d'Angelika, voilà comment je vais dire que c'est important pour l'Afrique. ADJ est important pour l'Afrique. Il faut dire que nous venons en aide à des jeunes en difficulté. Pourquoi je dis en difficulté? Parce que beaucoup proviennent des familles pauvres.
Attends, on va
traduire en même temps.
Okay. She said, dignity is important for us in Africa because we help young girls at church and everywhere. Then most of them come from very poor families.
Voilà. Ils proviennent des familles pauvres et ça fait que beaucoup sont déscolarisés. Ils ne vont pas à l'école. Et cette pauvreté-là,
from poor families and they don't go to school because of poverty.
et cette pauvreté les rend vulnérables. Vulnérables, ils sont exposés à plein de vices. Les vices comme la prostitution, la drogue et autres.
Okay, due to this poverty, they can have some addictions like prostitution, alcoholism, or drugs.
Alors, quand nous avons affaire à ces jeunes-là, non seulement nous les aidons à sortir de là, et en plus de ça, nous les accompagnons avec l'Évangile, avec la parole de Dieu qui vient changer la vie de ces jeunes.
Okay, so when we have to work with this kind of young people, we try to help them to stop addictions, and we also share them the word of Yahweh in order to make them good people in the society, and that help us to change their life.
Okay, thank you very much.
Voilà.
Go ahead, Jermaine.
That's it, she said.
Oh, that's it. Okay. So, Jermaine, this question is for Jermaine. How has, can you share maybe a couple of stories where God has worked through Dignity Project?
Ok, cette question est pour Germaine. Germaine, est-ce que tu peux nous partager certaines histoires à propos de Dignity, de ADJ?
Oui, je m'appuie toujours sur le sens civique. Hein, c'est là-bas que j'ai eu mes expériences. Et il faut dire que quand nous allons avec ces filles-là, et les thèmes que nous traitons les touchent tellement que elles se confient à nous. Et quand elles se confient à nous, nous les aidons, nous leur donnons des conseils et c'est ça. nous donnons des conseils à ces filles-là.
Okay.
May-
I will still use my experience at the Civic Center. When we were there, we tried to help young ladies, and as they trusted us, they tried to share us their experience. And through this experience, we try to help them.
I want to add something what maybe has gone. The Civic Center, and that is in Waike. There are 150 girls, 155 girls. They came in. It's I don't know. The government is kind of finding them on the street. Sometimes the parents bring them to the civic center. It's a center where they learn discipline. They learn how to read and write and just get a little bit how do you say, just some training, and they are all kind of traumatized, and that's where our team came in. And so Germaine just shared how those girls, when they hear about their value, when they hear about forgiveness, when they hear about Jesus, they slowly understand, but then they come and get attached. And there is, after a session like this, they line up and want to talk to our facilitators. That's a little bit what she just shared. And I just wanted to give a little background, Priscilla. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, both of you. So, Angelika, since you began with WorldVenture, since the inception of this project, what changes have you observed in the community?
Well, first of all, what thrills me is that the pastors women we have trained here at the Bible school and also elsewhere, and women who don't know how to go about the problem of girls who get pregnant out of bad luck, that they now have something to share, to teach. And when I see those ladies teach, I'm not doing it anymore. When I see those ladies teaching and the girls leading up, that their moms are teaching them, I mean, they call them all moms, even if they're not their own moms. That is just something what I haven't seen before like that. And it's wonderful to see. There's transformation happening in our communities. Where women teach girls and find a platform, and they know, okay, I'm needed. I need to be trained so that I can teach. It's not that, oh, I'm just a woman, I'm not allowed to teach in church. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit what I like about it. Mm-hmm. We can't hear you, Nicole.
My own fault when I'm trying to type and chat at the same time. So Jermaine, same question for you. What changes have you observed in your community since dignity came along?
Ok, j'ai la même question pour toi. Quels sont les changements que tu as observés dans ta communauté à travers Dignity?
Les changements que j'ai observés, Priscille, la question.
Oui.
Allô, vous m'entendez? Quels sont les changements
Oui.
que tu as observés dans ta communauté, donc les personnes que tu as eu à enseigner à travers le programme
Ah,
ADJ? Quels sont
d'accord.
les changements que tu as pu observer chez ces personnes?
Ah oui. Il faut dire qu'il y a eu beaucoup de changements, hein. Les filles, elles se reconnaissaient dans certains thèmes et je vais aller dans les détails. Quand nous avons fait l'enseignement sur le pardon, par exemple, parce que il s'agissait de relever le nom de la personne qui t'a fait le mal et la personne, qu'est-ce que la personne t'a fait et qu'est-ce
D'accord,
que
je traduis ça.
ça a eu comme impact sur toi. Ça
Attends,
va,
elle va
Priscille?
traduire.
I'm going to translate this, please. Je vais traduire cette partie-là. Okay, she said she observed many changes. For example, related to the lesson on forgiveness, she in this lesson, they had to write down the name of the person who made something bad. It can be an injure, insult, maybe beat them, violence, everything you can imagine as something really wrong. Then they had to write down the name of the person, what the person did, and how this action affected them. J'ai fini.
Et ce jour-là, elles ont tout écrit. Et après, nous sommes sortis au dehors. Elles ont pris les bouts de papier qu'elles devaient brûler. Et vraiment,
And
on a
that
senti
day,
que...
that day
Mhm.
they wrote everything, and when we were out, they took all the papers and put them in the fire.
On a senti qu'elles étaient touchées. Il y a une même qui nous disait qu'elle était prête à ne même plus pardonner à sa tante qui était à la maison, mais avec ce que nous venons de faire là, elle veut lui pardonner. Et entre elles là-bas, elles ne s'entendaient pas aussi. Elles ont commencé à se demander pardon devant nous.
Okay, and that day we remarked different emotions. One of them told us she would like to never have any contact with her aunt, uh, with who she lives at home, but through the teaching, she decided to change it. Then among ladies at the center, um, it's happened some conflicts, but after this session, we started to be in peace there.
D'accord, je continue aussi, je parle aussi de la leçon sur les forteresses. Les forteresses, c'était quoi? C'est ce que tout ce qu'ils t'ont prononcé, tout ce qu'ils ont dit de mal sur ta vie, tu ne vas jamais réussir, tu es un enfant de malheur et tout ça, quand nous avons fait sortir ces mots, ça a tellement touché les filles que elles ont dit qu'elles ne savaient pas il y a le mot amour qui existait. Elle dit autour d'elle, c'était la haine, personne ne leur donnait de l'amour, tout et tout, et c'était vraiment difficile pour elles. Et on leur a dit que ce sont des choses où ils peuvent sortir dedans. Ils peuvent enlever
Okay,
ça de leur esprit.
okay. Another example is the lesson about stronghold. So, stronghold, no, sorry, stronghold is everything people told you that you can't achieve. Maybe you can't have success or you can't achieve many goals. But when they had a lesson on this, young ladies told them that they didn't know the word love exists. Okay.
Voilà. Elle disait que on leur a jamais dit qu'elles sont belles, on leur a jamais dit qu'elles sont jolies. Et ce jour-là, nous leur avons dit, on leur a apporté de l'amour et elles savaient que maintenant elles ont de la valeur. Elles sont des êtres précieuses. On a appuyé ça même avec le verset du psaume 139. Je suis une belle créature. Je suis créée à l'image de Dieu. Et quand on leur a apporté cela, ça leur a vraiment fait du bien.
Okay. She said that that day, some of them said they had never ever been loved. They don't know what the word love is. Then, as facilitators, they shared love with them, and young ladies were happy. And oof, I forgot.
You know,
And
it was Psalm 139, where God said, "I knew you in your mother's womb. You're beautiful," and just the opposite of what they had heard them, what people have said about them, and they were hiding and in that stronghold, and that really touched them. C'est comme ça j'ai compris, Priscille. Je seulement à compléter.
thank you.
Je continue aussi. On avait parlé aussi de comment sortir des relations toxiques. Il faut dire que c'est des grandes filles, hein. Il y a plusieurs qui ont connu des déceptions. Donc, cette leçon-là aussi venait pour les aider. Quand tu vis, par exemple, avec quelqu'un qui ne veut pas du bien de toi, comment te séparer de cette personne? Et quand on a apporté cette leçon-là, elles ont dit qu'elles ont compris à leur retour, elles sauront comment marcher, elles vont vraiment statuer sur certaines relations et puis voir s'il faut continuer ou bien ne pas continuer.
Okay, another session about toxic relationships. So, because ladies are no, girls are not young, they are almost teens or young ladies, so they know what is relation. So during this session, we help them to stop what is every toxic relations, and we help them to, how can I say that? Maybe yes,
Yeah,
to
to
stop.
understand, to help them understand. Sometimes they don't realize they're in a toxic relationship. And when you talk about it, they realize, oh, that's me, and that's not correct. And they think it's normal. And so then they realize, okay, I need to pay attention and understand. Also, it's not easy to get out of a relationship because you're dependent in a way. And so that was a teaching what touched those girls or those young women. Mm.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you so much. Before we go to the next question, I do want to welcome our audience. We have Richard Jacobs who's saying hi. We've got Ashley who's saying hi. And I don't know the name of this one, ECKWE, had said hi. And so thank you and welcome those who have just joined. If you do have questions, you can put them in the chat. If you need a more explanation, you can put that in the chat. We're down to the last few questions. So if you're going to ask one, it'd be good to put one in as soon as you can. This question is for Angelika and Jermaine if she wants to add to it. So recently, and we'll share this link on the blog when we publish the recording. Recently, Dignity published a major event that happened in March last year. In your own words, tell me about that event and how did God work through it?
Last year, one of our facilitators, we had men trained as well in Benin with the Dignity Campaign. He came back and said, "Oh, we have a youth camp, we have a kids camp." It was last Easter, and we have about 13 churches here in Portugal, and they wanted to invite all the kids for the Easter break and do a Dignity Day with 400 young teenagers. And I said to him, "Wow, we've never done such a big event with so many kids. We just do it in small groups." And I said, "If you want to do that, we need to train their Sunday school teachers." And so we did. A month before the event, we had about 50 Sunday school teachers, 4 from each church, 2 men, two women, or young ladies, and trained them for a day how to help us, assist us with this Dignity Day. There's a lot of balloons and action, and we needed to exercise. And so those ladies and young men were trained, also enlightened by all the subjects we were sharing. And one of the lady, Marie, then moved to another town. And that this Christmas, she just came and greeted me. She came back to Cote and said, "We have so many young people in our church. I would like you to come and do training on Dignity Day." What we did at Easter. And I said, well, she was trained, but she wasn't ready to do it herself. And so I had no time. We got a team together. They went there, and the church organized it. And they had a day, the girls and the boys, we separated them at some sessions. Yeah, that was the event. It's this kind of, I would say, a discipleship program, helping girls and boys, young men and young women to, understand how to live as followers of Christ, especially in, may I say, just in a sexual way, in a sexual pure way, and not copying what the world does, but then wanting to transform and influence the community. That's what it is. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And Jermaine, would you like to add a few thoughts about last March's event?
Germaine wasn't there. She was invited. It was our Cote team.
Okay.
And yeah.
Awesome. Well,
so she may, I don't know.
That's okay. That's all right. So this next question is for Angelika or Germaine or both. What about other recent events and the impact of those events on your community that you've had? Whoever wants to go. Do you want to see if Germaine wants to add?
Est-ce que tu as un autre événement tu veux partager, Germaine, ou bien Priscille? Priscille, toi aussi, tu étais formée et j'aimerais bien demander, Priscille aussi, la formation que tu as suivie à Yamoussoukro en mai, qu'est-ce qui t'a touché? Voilà, peut-être toi personnellement. Priscille, tu peux dire ça en anglais? I'm just asking, I asked her a question because it was interesting what she had to share as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, last May or April, we had a training here, and I was a participant there. We had an activity in which we should share our story, and we should talk about something very difficult we encounter in our life. And for me, it was the first time I thought about something that happened when I was very young, and that really hurts me. And from that day to today, I can say that I am free. I am really free because this experience was, I can say, unique and very helpful for me. Then I imagine if I had this training maybe when I was 15 or 17, there are some mistakes I will not do in my life, but I had the training. I was more than 25. Then I think if young ladies can have this kind of training in the country or maybe in Africa, it will be really helpful to save their dignity.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that.
May I just add, it's so important for our facilitators who trained that they, it's vulnerable, but that they're able to share and get rid and restored from their past, and that they understand Jesus is using their stories, but if they're not releasing it to the throne of God, it's difficult for them to help other girls. And so we have this telling your story session at the beginning at one of our trainings. And so, yeah, that was Priscilla just sharing how that helped her to tell her story the first time and get free. Mm-hmm.
And that freedom feels good, doesn't it? That's for you, Priscilla.
Yeah.
Awesome. So tell me, both Angelika and Germaine, as we close in on the end of our time together, is there anything else you would like our audience to know about dignity? Priscilla, you as well. You can add your own 2 cents worth too. Sorry, that's American slang. You can add your own thoughts too.
Partager une dernière pensée, ce que nous voulons que l'audience qui nous regarde sur le ministère de la dignité. J'aime ou bien Priscille.
Moi, je peux prendre la parole.
Mm-hmm.
D'accord. Merci de m'avoir donné la parole encore une fois. Il faut dire que nous avons besoin de soutien spirituel. Et nous-mêmes, nous avons commencé chaque premier mercredi du mois, nous avons notre jeûne et prière et nous venons, nous prions pour les uns et pour les autres et même pour les jeunes même que nous encadrons. Et encore, nous voulons du soutien financier parce que toutes nos sorties, nous utilisons du matériel pour pouvoir encadrer ces jeunes. Je peux montrer l'exemple. Vous voyez, nous payons ces enveloppes Et puis, les bouts de papier qui sont là, il nous faut des rames où les filles doivent écrire des mots dessus. Il nous faut des rames et aussi, quand nous avons partagé l'évangile aux filles, par exemple, elles ont changé, c'est bien, c'est vrai, mais elles vont repartir en famille. Il y a plusieurs qui font des formations de pâtisserie, elles font des formations de couture. Comment installer ces filles-là pour qu'elles puissent être autonomes et pour pouvoir se prendre en charge et vivre réellement leur foi chrétienne? Et voilà ce que je voulais dire. Il faut qu'on nous accompagne spirituellement. Il faut qu'on ait les moyens pour tous ces jeunes-là. Et c'est ce que je voulais ajouter.
Okay. She said, thank you very much to give me the floor once again. I want to say that we need support. We also need spiritual support because for activities we have to pay many things. But we started with spiritual support as each Wednesday, each first Wednesday of the month, yes, we used to fast and pray together for us and also for the young girls we teach. Then related to financial support, I'm going to share you materials. Example, we have envelope. We also have papers on which young ladies should write down difficult experience they had. So for all of this, we need money. So we have to pay all of this to help them. Then when we finish the training, young ladies go back home. And as they are not with us all the time, we need also to help them. Some of them are doing some vocational studies, such as uh, studies to be a baker, or maybe to be a tailor, hairdresser, or maybe yes, tailor, hairdresser, or maybe I forgot. Yes, hairdresser. Yes, is correct. So we also need to help them because after the studies, they should start the job and they should have support in order to have their own shop and work so as to get so as to be independent and don't do something bad, something that will be bad for the identity.
Yeah.
Je
It is
voulais
a
ajouter quelque chose aussi. Et nous voulons nous étendre les années à venir, les jours à venir. Il y a un autre centre qui est là, le centre des garçons. Et nous voulons aller là-bas cette année. Et aussi, nous avons pris attache avec des directeurs d'école. Nous voulons passer pour pouvoir parler aux jeunes filles qui sont dans ces écoles-là. Et puis, s'il même en sait quelque chose, nous avons pris attache avec la directrice de jeunes filles, où nous comptons bientôt aller pour parler là-bas avec les jeunes filles. Et voilà comment nous voulons étendre nos actions et vraiment, nous avons besoin de soutien. Merci beaucoup.
Okay. She said that we want to do more this year. Last year we worked just in one center, in one civic center, but we have two centers in Wake, and we want to. The second center is for boys, yes. So we want to also help young boys related to virginity. Then we try to get in touch with some schools in the city. So we also have a young ladies school in the city where I teach. So she said that we are going to, no, we already get in touch with them. And in coming days, we are going to have a dignity day with young ladies of this school.
Thank you, Jermaine. Angelika, would you like to add anything?
Okay, my connection was. Are you
Okay.
hearing me?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am. Would you like to add any
what I
last
would
words?
just add, it's a spiritual battlefield. Like I want to just say, the enemy doesn't want us to train youth to transform communities, and what our facilitators do as they're invited to come. The Civic Center, they don't pay them anything. They're doing it voluntarily, the transport and everything and the materials. So it would be good to get support in so that they are able to do the work. I think that's what I wanted to add.
So if you notice, there's a link in the chat for those of you on YouTube, on Facebook, and all that. There's a link in the chat, or if you're watching on the website or whatnot, you can scan the QR code in the corner next to and for my view, next to Angelika's head. Scan the QR code, and you can make a gift to help cover some things. Maybe be a monthly supporter. But the link is also in the chat if you're joining us on social media. I do want to say a hello. We've got Richard, who says, right on, Angelika. Jesus told a lot of stories to communicate life-changing stories. Ralph also thanked us for sharing your ministry. And we also have the Conservative Baptist Association of the Philippines watching us. So welcome. So if you feel led to support, please go ahead and scan that QR code. I want to thank Jermaine, especially Priscilla, for sharing her story as well, and for interpreting for us. Priscilla, I really appreciate it. And thank you, Jermaine, for joining us on that. We have another live stream on Monday. We will feature the Thomases. They were from Poland, but now they're going to a new ministry, and that's what you're going to hear about. But thank you, Angelika. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today.